Well, during the governor's COVID-19 update yesterday, Lieutenant Governor Garlin Gilchrist delivered a heartfelt message to the people of Michigan about the unrest across the country.
And we were able to speak with the Lieutenant Governor today about the call for justice, what parents can teach their kids about it, and how plans for this fall are progressing.
This is not a new call for justice. This is a call from a community that has felt, frankly, persecuted and trapped under the foot and under the knee of oppressive law enforcement practices that need reform. We've seen a community disproportionately impacted by police violence, but also by being shut out of economic opportunity and educational access. And so what you're seeing is the culmination of, years of struggle. Well, recognize, first of all, that racism is a learned behavior. And so no child is born racist. That is something that they learn from watching the adults in their lives. So I would ask every adult, frankly, to be mindful of their behavior, mindful of their language, mindful of the choices they make and the reactions they have to people, the implicit biases that may be present in what they do on a day-to-day basis, because children are sponges, right? They observe. I have an 11-month-old daughter and she watches me like a hawk. And so that means the kids can pick up good things and the not so good things from their parents. So I think we have the opportunity to be vigilant and to set examples so that the next generation of people can be much more mindful of opportunities to create justice, not just to fight injustice. We're going to be announcing some of the types of directional and specific reforms that we can pursue both at the local level through executive action as well as pursuing legislation. There are many best practices that we've seen throughout the country in terms of what we can do to reduce police violence and violent outcomes, that we can do to improve accountability and transparency in police departments. And they include things like encouraging civilian oversight, establishing policies for use of force, transparency around and data collection and reporting around use of force and around officer-involved shootings, independent investigations, and training for law enforcement, training about de-escalation, training about implicit bias, diversifying and strengthening recruiting practices to make sure that we can have police officers that are from communities that they're serving and that look like the communities that they serve. I can't predict, honestly, what things are going to look like in August or what things are going to look like on Labor Day, but we are trending in the right direction in Michigan. And I think right now what you see is education leaders and communities across the state thinking about a range of scenarios that they're preparing for at every level of education. You have, preschool, pre-K, K-12, and higher education. And so the state is engaged. We're going to be announcing our Return to Learning Task Force members very soon that we announced last week. And we're going to put together some ideas, but ultimately the public health indicators are what's going to drive what's possible. And so I can't handicap that yet at this point.